Walking Stick Library presents Who is Todd Callender? With your hostess with the mostest, librarian Eileen Kramer.
Okay, we've got quite a show for you tonight. You know how this goes. We've got quite a show for you tonight, and we are going to be looking again a little bit at our friend Todd Callender. I got curious about where he worked, and we're going to talk a bit about lookalikes, because we have one. And it's kind of interesting. Sometimes what is most interesting information-wise is what gets left out rather than what goes in. Okay, I'm going to transition us across and I'm going to minimize and we're going to take a look at where Todd Callender works. This is Disabled Rights Advocates. Fine, this sounds noble. They deal with civil rights, employment law, COVID-19 mandates, and military law. And when we could get their areas of practice, this is what they give us. So if I were interested in any of these, that's all there is. There really isn't much else. And there isn't much else here. We could look for Americans for ADA compliance. I'm a disabled person and I want, okay, there is stuff. We just have to find our way into this. That is interesting. I'm going to go home for the moment and do a search. Now, what we want to do is look for two major pieces of legislation. The first one is the Americans with Disabilities Act. This one was a stinking game changer because it changed how buildings were built. And at the time, my ex-boyfriend's mother, he was not really an ex in those days, and he always stayed a really good friend. I mean, I loved this man. Part of me still does. And I'm going to deal with that keyboard issue. I have a keyboard issue, folks. I have a key that's stuck. This is very strange. I am going to deal with my keyboard issue. That's going to be our next question. But anyway, one of the things that we would decide when we were going to take her out to eat was whether the restaurant was built post-ADA or pre-ADA, because it was much easier to get her in a wheelchair in a post-ADA building. So this was wonderful. So the other one I learned about when I was working with occupational therapy students who were taking their organizational and admin class at Utica College. This is how long all this was. And it was this. This is going to cover whether you get occupational therapy. So if you've got a disabled child, you're looking to get this enforced. Okay, so we know these are two major laws that deal with disability. Do I see any of this on this site? That's all I see. If I do a search, however, something interesting happens. ADA referrals. They've got a form. And I've got a sample page here. Not very much. Let's search for idea. No results found. So this is kind of like a political shell to do COVID-related gadfly law. When we come in here, you'll see they're doing vaccine injury and wrongful death and I don't know what all else. And there are organizations that work with disabled rights. And to find them, I'm going to use something called Curly. That's not it. Let's try curly.net. Okay, Curly directory. I'm not having much luck. I do know how we can find it. Because I do recommend this to, I recommend this to lots of people. And it's Curly, C-U-R-L-I-E. Here we are, curly.org, disability rights. Okay, disability. Now find it for me. Find it. I'm not having much luck, am I? Okay. Let's browse by category. English? Still nothing. Okay. We have arts, business, games, health, home, computers, news, recreation, reference, regional science, society. That's where we're going, is society. If you've never used Curly before, it's really useful. It used to be called the Mo's, and I have advice, crime, death, disabled. Disabled. And we'll see if we can find some organizations that do advocacy for the disabled. The big names. Curly has a way of giving you the big names and no sponsored links. And again, it's being slow. Everyone's on their computer tonight. And we have here arts, assistive technology, books, camps, chats, directories, disability studies, education, employment, family resources, home care, independent living, issues, lifestyle. Let's take issues. We could also take organizations. And again, this is being really slow. We can get here disability.gov, Institute on Community, Disability is Natural, The Trigger, The Media Edge. We got a couple. I'm not thrilled. Let's do organizations. That might be better. Who are the major organizations? Okay, Disability Rights New York, Council on Quality and Leadership, Learning Ally, Leonard Cheshire, Disability Support Prisoners Australia, National Association of Societies for the Care of the Handicapped, Enable Ireland, American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. These are from all over the world, so it's kind of Easter Seals, Abilities Network. You get your pick. I'm going to take what they put on top, Disability Rights New York, and I'm going to take down here This is a disability organizations network and online database, so we might take that. And there was one down here that looked really good. If I can find it again. I think we'll take a look at both of these. Disability Rights New York, legal services. Let's look at the legal services. Protection and advocacy of persons with developmental disabilities. Protection and advocacy for individuals with mental illness. And it's talking about the acts and the laws. This is very different, and they're not out to take your case. And if you look here, traumatic brain injury. And this is organizations, any country, I want the United States. 94. Okay. Find. It's nice and slow. Access Independence, Access North Carolina, Adaptive Computer Services. You know who I don't see? We're going to talk about this. What we do. And again, this is just New York, but it's the kind of thing you'd look for. I think what we're really looking for is a fairly famous organization, and we're going to do a known item search. Let me get Google up. Not dead yet. This is not the TV show. This is what I wanted, and it was way under everything else. If it ever lets me in. Okay, I don't see anybody. That's what I needed to see. We should be checking on a regular basis. Notdeadyet.org. I can type that in faster. There, we'll let it go when it's not working very well. And they do it without a www. And they'll get here when they get here, so we're going to let them go kind of quietly. And I could try, see if they're listed here. Go. And I don't care if you give me nothing. That's interesting. They're not listed. Let's just try a crappy search. I'm skipping that. American Civil, okay, ACLU, Disability Rights. Disability Rights Fund. The ARC. Now, ARC is an acronym, and it stands for Association of Retarded Citizens. This was before we all agreed that retarded was an epithet. We're still fighting over here. I don't know if we ever got in, but you have here the ARC. overview. The history of living with a disability in the United States has largely been one of discrimination, segregation, and exclusion. Education, work. You'll notice there's a real disabled person on that picture. Fortunately, today people with intellectual and developmental disabilities have the same basic legal, civil, and human rights as other citizens. The U.S. Constitution, federal laws, and federal court decisions have established these rights. However, despite tremendous advances, limitations of laws and regulations, poor enforcement of the laws, limited funding program, and disregard for binding legal precedent and societal prejudice keep many people with disabilities from being fully included in our society. And this is their position statement. Now we have a lot of these here. This is different than DRA. And here we have disability rights. And this is giving you stuff for free, which is kind of nice. I don't know if people actually pay our friends over here or not. It doesn't say. And there's lots of things right here. So this is kind of useful. These are your real disability rights organizations. And here's Wikipedia. And I like Wikipedia because they're going to list, not because of the article, which we're going to skip. I want to see what they have at the end for further reading. Lawsuits. I'm really looking for further reading. National Organization on Disability, Society for Disability Studies, Disability Rights Movement. Let's go to the National Organization on Disability. I think that's our organization. And these are their projects. Again, this is a lot bigger. I'm talking a lot more about those kinds of things. And again, this is mostly about stuff at work. So we've got these guys, and then we've got these guys, and it's kind of a look-alike thing, because I think they're doing more anti-vaccine stuff than they are doing actual getting people accommodations at work or accommodations other places. The next thing we're doing tonight's going to be rather interesting. And we're going to be looking again at Todd Callender. Now, for those of you who don't know, and some of you need a little bringing up to speed, Todd S. Callender. We will get him. Todd S. Callender, Colorado. Okay, lawyer in Boulder, Colorado. This is where we got him last time. Todd Callender is a lawyer with a private practice in Golden, Colorado. Right there, 2497 Foothills Drive. For those of you who have not seen this before, let me get the picture real quick. This should be down in here somewhere. Yes. This was Todd Callender the last time he was on. This is Todd Callender the last time he was on. This will open. Now it's opening in Photoshop. I don't need Photoshop for this, but it's okay. And my assistant is purring. She's purring very nicely. She's a good purry girl. Well, this is going to take its sweet time to get there, so we'll just wait. But anyway, Golden, Colorado is up in the mountains, for those of you who don't know. And it gets cold there. The trees don't have, except for the pine trees, don't have leaves. I want you to bear all of that in mind. Todd Callender is never all that far from my mind. There he is. And let me blow this up for everybody to have a good... Okay, there he is. What do all of you see in the background of this lovely, out his window? I think we need about a 4. What do all of you see? Look over here. Palm trees. Are there any palm trees in Golden, Colorado? It pays to be just a little bit observant. So where is he? I figured Florida or the Caribbean, and I didn't think much about it. We do know he makes his money as a lawyer in private practice. You never see him selling supplements or anything like that. No, I'm not going to save that. And again, I didn't give it much thought until I was watching videos to get inspiration for us. And let me make sure I have sound. Yeah, we have the make too much noise on. That means we'll get sound for this, and I was watching this.
The future is hungry, and South America will be able to feed it, thanks to Copieaport-E. Copieaport-E is an ultra-deep, international shipping port capable of handling the largest ships on Earth. Copieaport-E is perfectly placed on a natural peninsula in an uninhabited region of Chile. Compared to Atlantic ports that take longer and require smaller vessels, Copieaport-E ships can hold 800% more cargo per load and save weeks on shipping time. A highly efficient way to get the most fresh food to Asia and beyond. With low-grade, high-capacity highways through the Andes Mountains, Copieaport-E can connect Argentina, Chile, and other South American producers with all of Asia. The future is brighter with Copieaport-E.
Stop! That was a commercial. What the heck is Copieaport-E doing supporting Todd Callender on CloudHub? What's going on? Well, they must know somebody who's on CloudHub. It wouldn't look like something CloudHub people buy into. It's very much a part of globalism. I mean, they all talk about the New World Order. Well, bioceanic corridors and food going to Asia is trade and interdependence. Okay, so I got curious. And let me just, I'm going to take us back just a second or two back. Copieaport-E. Who is Copieaport-E and what are they? Well, it was time to search them on Google, and we are going to do a known item search. So that means we are looking for 100, please. We are looking for Copiaport. I'm going to do this case sensitive. And I'm doing it case sensitive because Unix servers are case sensitive. I'm just going to check us back again. I'm going to check my users again real quick. I've got to keep doing this, so that works very well. Okay, so what we're going to do is do the search. Go just where they told us. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait, but we're not as bad as some of the others. That didn't work. Let's try again. www.copia. That didn't work. It worked last time I did it. Oh, it has an E. It doesn't have an E in it. It's got 3 W's. Ooh. Copieaport-E.com. Whoops! We got redirected, but this is the right place. You'll see a ship here. This is the property. And it's arable land. It's in the Atacama region. This is where the port is going to be. This is Route 5, runs up from Santiago. These are the little cities, and these are the roads that take you into Argentina through the passes in the Andes. So this is the correct location. It's 80 kilometers south of Copeo, 750 kilometers north of Santiago. 80 kilometers is about 27 miles, 750 kilometers is 250 miles. It's as far from Santiago as Ithaca is from New York City. And this is where they're going to go over the mountains. These are the passes. So it's on all the roads. We have opportunities. And this is Copiaport-E, Chile's deep sea port. Here we are. This is what we saw on the commercials. It's the future hub of Pacific trade. And you can see that this is a little finger of land that sticks off of the Atacama Desert on the west coast of Chile. It's 90 feet deep, and it can hold a huge ship. And this is and again, I don't know what we do here, but I assume there is a contact here. And opens up. That is a beautiful picture. This is in some ways a nice website. Investment opportunities. Explore potential returns by investing in this prestigious property. Development plans. Get an inside look at future-oriented, sustainable, ecological development initiatives. Permitting processes. Understand the steps we are taking to finalize the necessary permits to ensure a smooth development process. Well, where we go from here is to GSU Library. Now remember, GSU has a business school. This is a business topic. Let's see what the media has written about this. I mean, this has got to be news. They're building a huge deep water port off the Atacama Desert in Chile. So we're going to go to Google. We're going to go to GSU Library. And we're going to click that. And we are going to go to ABI Inform because we're doing business, and the Dateline and the Inform both work pretty well. This is for local news, which is really nice. We're going to use, maybe we could use the Dateline, and we're going to look up Copiaport-E. Go. Now we have a lot of stuff in Spanish here, unfortunately, and I don't know if we can do an online translation. Doesn't look like we can. So what we can do is we can take a few paragraphs, Control C, and go over to translategoogle.com and get our stuff translated. And this is it. It is now called Copiaport-E, with E for ecological. It does not contemplate a city around it, nor dredging the seabed, much less relocating the surrounding communities. It is not uninhabited, by the way. People live in the Atacama. Among its shareholders is no longer the Brazilian millionaire Ike Batista. In 2019, he sold the entire project to the North American indigenous nation of the Chiricahua Apache, which is now waiting for the environmental resolution to begin work on the megaport in the Atacama region at a cost of US $450 million. They already have invested $13 million in the new environmental studies. How old is this? May 19th, 2024. No other port in Chile can offer the depths necessary for the drafts of Capesize or China-Max type vessels without dredging. The savings in CO2 emissions per ton of Copiaport-E simply by being able to receive these ships is at least 50%. From the point of view of environment impact, we are not dredging, we do not have to build a breakwater, and we are not displacing local communities to continue growing. Nicholas Winters, president of Copiaport-E, explains to Pulso La Tercera, Pulse of the Earth, Tercera. On December 27, 2023, the firm St. Matthew Assurance Limited, the parent company of Copiaport-E in the country, received authorization from the Environmental Assessment Service of the Atacama region to begin a new stage of citizen participation in the project due to all the modifications they made to it. Large works and land displacements were eliminated. In Bahay Salado, on the border between Caldera and Copiapo, specifically in the Punta Cachos sector at an area of great natural wealth, which is why the project has been facing strong opposition in the area since Ike Batista announced in 2008, and he called it Puerto Castilla, which is why we saw Hacienda Castilla on the website, through OMX Operación Maritimas, where he participated as controller. The project also considered a coal-fired thermoelectric complex, a desalination plant, and even housing in the surroundings. So that project had those, this project does not. It is very important to differentiate the Copiaport-E project from all the previous projects. The E in Copiaport-E stands for Ecoport. He adds that when they decided to take control, they contemplated from day one, including electric trucks in the operation, solar plants for energy, and various forms of reducing CO2 emissions. St. Matthews Assurance Limited is a financial group that was born as an insurance company in 1998 and mainly serves the indigenous North American world. It manages a global investment portfolio, and the project in Chile will be carried out with its own resources. Interesting. Who knows who? I do not know who knows who, but that's telling me a lot I did not know before. There's a little more here, if I can find one that's in English. Okay, so far this is one that is in English, and this is CE Noticias Financieras, Miami, September 27th, 2024. And let's look for Copiaport by hitting Control-S. Copia. Okay. Resubmissions. Both projects were not resubmitted for environmental assessment. A different case is that of Copiaport-E, a port initiative in the Atacama region, with an investment of $450 million. This project entered the environmental assessment on April 11th, 2019, but was not qualified due to a lack of relevant information. Subsequently, on September 8th, 2020, the holder, Copiaport-E, this was Ike Batista, re-entered the initiative, and its evaluation is currently suspended at the holder's request until June 30th, 2025. We don't have a shovel-ready project here, folks. Nobody has dug a hole. Nobody has planted a girder. Nobody has built a dock. There's no ship stopping at this peninsula in the Atacama Desert of Chile. And for those of you who are geographically impaired, and that's pretty much everybody in my generation and forward, we're going to look at maps, google.com, and we'd like to look at, if we can find this, I can't, where is it? Because they're going to say where it is. Development plans. It's got a great map somewhere, and I just cannot find it. The property. Okay, this says where it is. Copiapó, Chile. So we're going to look for Copiapó, Chile. Let me search Google Maps and we'll all take a look. There's Copiapó, San Fernando, Vecinos Copiapó, and when you look right over here sticking up is a cute little peninsula. That's where this is going to be. There's Copiapó, Chile. Oh my God, there are and we're going to go way out. This is where we are. You can see this is all white because it's desert. And it's Santiago's down here where it's nice and green. But up here where one of the driest places on earth, this is Copiapó. It's on Route 5, which connects all of Chile. If you want to think about it this way, there's our port right there. Route 5 goes from Syracuse all the way to Albany. State Route 5, Genesee Street. It's Genesee Street in all the cities. And that's Copiapó. And for some reason it's 12:10 a.m. there. They're 2 hours ahead of us. But there we are. So if you ever wondered, this is what there is. And again, I noticed the palm trees. Could Todd be in Chile? Attending to some kind of business interest? There are stranger things. And I'm not an investment expert. I'm going to come back in and put my curtain up. There, much better. I am no investment expert, but a big piece of me says, is it a good idea to invest in something that isn't even shovel ready in another country? I mean, I bought foreign stocks. I'm a crazy woman. I'll talk about that some other time. But I'm wondering, I cannot prove anything, and everything is inconclusive. We now know what Copieaport-E is. It's real. Somebody would like to build a port. They are getting the environmental permits. There has been money anticipated. There's not a stick built. That commercial does not look like that, but misleading advertising happens. And it's a great idea if they would do it. There's a lot of great ideas out there. I always say that one day somebody is going to build a road. Probably the Chinese are going to build a road that goes from the Mediterranean to Nigeria or Congo. A road that crosses the Sahara so that you can just drive shipping up and down. The people who live along that road can have jobs because it's like being on the thruway. You know, we do this, we have roads that go right through the Mojave Desert. Nobody dies of thirst in the Mojave Desert or the Great Basin anymore. We've got roads and fast cars. You could have that in the Sahara. We don't, because the countries there fight with each other all the time. And they're poor. But one day China may build such a road. That would be a good search for one of our nights. Nice kind of international speculation. I'd rather have the Chinese build the road than us not have a road there. I mean, it would be nice if there were a road there for the people who live there. Okay. So we can find out a few things, but that is where this is at the moment. I guess we could find out about St. Matthew's. Shall we do that? I'm going to take my curtain down. It's down. I'm going to see what we can learn about those folks. Since we know the name of the organization, it's St. Matthew Assurance. Let's Google it first. Just learn who they are. They should have a website. Yes, they do. Okay. I'm sitting here with my jaw dropping. Todd Callender, St. Matthew Assurance. I don't make this up because I don't. Oklahoma, United States. 22, 8 tribes, Tri-Miami, Oklahoma. stmatthewsgroup.net. Worth greater than 5 million, worth less than 5 million. Todd Callender. stmatthewsgroup.net. Engage via phone, it's not there. St. Matthew's Assurance. Todd Callender works at St. Matthew's Assurance, which is an insurance company. Todd is currently based in Miami, Oklahoma. Found email listings include St. Matthew's Group. Explore more. Sure, I agree. No, I don't want that connected to my inbox. Go away. And here it says St. Matthew's Assurance Limited offers tailor-made insurance solutions for global clientele seeking coverage for risks not adequately addressed in the local statutes. The group's executive management team has a well in excess of 150 years experience in international commerce, having worked in leading international centers around the globe. SMA is audited annually and supervised by the Modoc Insurance Authority and designated insurance manager. All clients are required to have independent legal counsel in their jurisdiction of residence. Well, that explains how that ad got onto Todd's stream. We now know how he makes his money. We also know where the palm trees came from. I think it's a safe bet. This is St. Matthew Assurance Limited. St. Matthew Assurance offers a range of sophisticated products and insurance contracts covering a wide range of risks on a global scale. Our main focus lies in creating tailored insurance solutions that prioritize the unique needs of our clients. These solutions encompass protecting wealth, addressing health and longevity concerns, facilitating tax-efficient retirement, replacement income, while providing for legacy planning. And that's the about, which we've got right here, is a tribal insurance company originally organized and licensed under the laws of the Modoc Nation. In 2023, SMA moved to the Chiricahua Apache Nation and continues to operate under modern insurance legislation adopted through the CAMB legislation process. This positioned SMA within the group growing segment of the CAMB economy, benefiting from the CAMB nation's sovereign status and protections provided by the U.S. and domestic and international law, such as the UN Declaration of Rights of Indigenous Peoples. And I don't know what they sell. Could I buy renter's insurance from them? Probably not. But they do. They sell insurance. Comes with safeguards for client privacy, protection against creditors, provide benefits throughout the insured individual's lifetime. It is important to note that St. Matthew's policies do not have a cash value, and we strictly adhere to underwriting practices in accordance with local laws and the overarching principles and regulations outlined in the Common Reporting Standards. We do not actively seek out new business opportunities, but instead build new client relationships exclusively through trusted intermediaries who are established, regulated, or professionally recognized. Okay. I don't know what their consulting services are. Let's look. SMA is composed of a group of skilled individuals in the insurance industry who provide consulting and advisory services to clients seeking specialized knowledge and impartial guidance. We handle a wide range of assignments, including conducting feasibility studies, offering restructuring advice, and providing rescue services for underperforming structures. St. Matthew's expertise lies in crafting personalized insurance solutions and collaborating with a network of international professionals such as actuaries and attorneys. If you'd like to discuss our services, this is for rich people. This isn't for Joe Blow. Joe Blow goes to State Farm or to Geico. Key advantages. And decades of combined experience in their two primary arenas of business. The founder of our company was a trailblazer in expanding the utilization of captive insurance beyond conventional self-insurance programs. Additionally, St. Matthew's has played a pivotal role in introducing segregated, protected cell structure to life insurance policies, offering numerous advantages, leveraging expertise and industry insights. Okay, this is starting to turn into garble. I do not know what captive insurance is. I know what self-insurance is. When I broke my foot in Utica years ago, I broke it at work. Syracuse University took care of my workman's comp and they self-insured. That was captive insurance, I guess. That was self-insurance. So let's figure out what captive insurance is. We need another search. Yes, we do. And this time we are going to look for, and again, I don't know much about business. I think you're kind of getting that message here. Boom. Boom. That one's not working. Let's get a nice circle. Now this will work. Go make a circle for me. There we are, much better. And I want to see what color I'm using here for this. There we are, it's at the bottom now. We have our old color back. I got rid of it by accident. So what I'm interested in is captive insurance. And what I want is a definition. This is a semi-known item search, but I want to make it tight. And I'm going to pick up my pen. And the "and" is implied, but it can still be put out loud. Let's look for captive insurance. Okay. And here we have captive.com, but let's use Wikipedia because they do have some quality control. Captive insurance is an alternative to self-insurance in which insured parties establish a licensed insurance company for their own benefit. The company focuses its services on specific risks of the insureds and is incentivized to price the insurance near cost since it has no separate investors. So these people make insurance companies and they invest in various properties. And again, I cannot judge if this is a high risk or a low risk investment. I think it's like many other real estate investments. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're sour. I don't know if this would be a good investment or not for a pension fund. I don't know about insuring pension funds and things like that. Okay. So, again, this is where we're at. This is where this is going to be. I wish we could make this bigger, but this is where the port is going to be. Right over here on one of these little nubs. So now we know what these people do, and we know how Todd makes his income, and we probably know where the palm trees came from. They don't grow in Oklahoma either. So, we learned a lot about Todd Callender tonight. And again, I'm happy that he is not, he has to make a living. I don't begrudge it. It's interesting I'm much more suspicious when somebody lives on air than when somebody sells supplements, offers readings, psychic readings, and says, I'm going to charge you so much for a 45-minute reading. You get your reading, you get charged. You got what you paid for. If you don't want a reading, don't pay for one. Ditto with the supplements. You can complain they're crummy, but they're unregulated. But if you like them and you're that kind of person and you want some supplements, buy yourself a bottle. You get a bottle of whatever it is they're selling, and you can decide if you like it or not. But, people have to pay the bills and keep the server on and pay for their internet connection. So I'm happier when I know how people make their money. So, again, I don't know if this is a good investment or not. They clearly are not selling to the general public. And again, I'm not sure why Copieaport-E gets to advertise, but that is Todd's thing. We just ran into it. Thunk. It's amazing what you can find in plain sight. Okay, let me check my squawk box. Hey, Enigma, you're here! I don't know when you got in because I was busy hunting down Todd Callender and we found out how he makes his living tonight. That I didn't think I'd ever know. I just figured he was a lawyer in private practice. But I saw this commercial for something called Copieaport-E, and I said, what are they doing advertising on CloutHub? So ran them down on ABI Inform and ran them down at their own website, and we now know